Okay, this is our first video ever, so bear with me on putting this together. I'm just going to go over our boat. The boat's name is Wind Chaser, and it's a 1965 Piver built in Kettenberg Yachts, San Diego. It's out of plywood. And I'll go through real quickly around the boat, show different things, and you can just experience this boat with us. We call this our Arc of Ascension, which is also the name of a book I want to write. But anyway, let's take a tour of the boat. So the main hull, the bow here that you're looking at, has a coating called Styrospray 1000, and that is a finish coat there ready for paint. You can see on the back area where it's black, that's the anti-foulant paint that I applied, which will be the same on the front. But we had to do the center area so we could finish that completely. The white paint on top, anti-foulant on the bottom, readjust the boat to do the ends. Now the ends, the bow here, there was a pretty good size repair right there in 1/2-inch plywood. You can tell it blended in pretty well. And I'll go to the back here. Here's our sanitation system. From the sink through my vacuum hose down to a trench, and it goes in the ground. Up here I added this fin keel to help for performance and flotation and lots of different reasons. So that's all new. It used to just come down to a sharp point, and the point, when they lifted us out into the boatyard, they were always breaking the keel. So I got tired of that. This fin is tapered from front to back. It's like 8 inches wide in the middle, actually, or right about there where the center of this film is. It tapers down back here. You can see by the prop, tapers down. And then here's the rudder, and the plate on the ground is going to be bolted to the bottom end of that. You can see the little holes. Here's our sonar hanging down. When we get the paint done, we'll put the mount on there. Now you can see this is a added swim platform from about that corner out, is all new. This is the second version I've done. The first one was too low in the water and slapped too much when we were in rough weather. So this is finish coat of Styrospray on it. So the little slot is where a swim ladder fits into and pivots down in the water, and you can see the door. It gets hinged and fitted in there when we're done. That second step down, or a middle step, gets a door on it for storage. And you can see the profile below. And yes, it comes to sort of a reverse angle back here, but I don't care. It makes for a better platform to swim off of, and it's a lot of fun. The storage area is self-draining. There is the drain, one on each side. And then I'll come around here to an Alma here, which is ready to coat with the styro spray. Again, that end from on the transom has been added, and the last time I was in the boatyard I put this on for no reason other than I just think it looks better. It does nothing more for us, but curves always look better in everything. So I added a curved transom instead of a flat cutoff one. Anyway, this is ready to go for coating. Lots of little patches and touch-ups with colloidal silica and West Marine epoxy. I'm going to leave the little fin on, even though it doesn't do anything really for us, except if we did beach the boat, it would help set us level. Here's a repair. Again, glued in, colloidal silica epoxy. Here's an old repair that I didn't do, but you see it with the skin off. I removed all the fiberglass 6-ounce skin and did repairs and things. Some of the glass I just could not get off. You see some on the top edge up there. That's what I just feathered in and left it there then. And I'll go to another part of the boat. Here's the other side, the other Alma. Here's an old patch that I can't hardly get ground off, so I'm just going to take the antifoulant off, feather it in. There's some plywood in the way. But this one I'm still sanding on, working on. You can see patches and things that have been done over the years. Remember, this thing's a 1965. Here's another repair down here with seriously strong fiberglass on it. Could have been where a whale hit it in its previous owner. Here's our dinghy, which is a Livingston, 10-foot Livingston. And I put the coating to just the bottom. Let me get a close-up of this. You can see runs and different things in it. The runs aren't really a big deal. It's probably pushing a 1/4 inch thick on the keel part here. And the runs, what I do is take a little tiny grinding wheel on a drill and hit the runs, and it does a really good job of cleaning it up. Anyway, on to the next thing. Here's a home-built sanitation box. So this is what our toilet waste goes into. It fits into a certain part of the boat in front of the head. It was built with little thin strips of plywood, and then I glassed the inside, but I got a pinhole leak, and so I took it out, ground the plywood off the outside, and applied the styro spray over the outside to seal it up again. Okay, we're just climbing the ladder up on deck. Here's some problems with the deck. The fiberglass is coming loose in some places, like this spot. It was wet a little bit underneath from a previous rain. And the paint, like 50 coats of paint, has been peeling off. Here's down inside one of the Almas. It's just full of stuff and a mess. This side is spare engine, 6-horse diesel, dive gear way back up in there. There's some new winches, new used winches. And we're going to take a quick tour around the deck. This handrail I'm going to remove. I don't like it. It's always in the way. Here's an old repair. You can see on the side here on the right. Some of the glass is really strong. The lighter spots seem to be where the glass is loose, and I've sanded off most of that. Doing repairs. Here's our windows. I sanded those down. All this is going to get the Styro Spray coating put on it. Here's a square access hole that we had to cut in this a long time ago. We've owned the boat 4 years. We cut this deck open and dropped a washing machine down that hole. And then here's our hatch for the forward area. This all gets coated in with Styro Spray, and our access to our windlass is right there. We've got a water heater back in there. That's kind of hard to see, but there it is, right there, a water heater, instant hot water heater. And here's a view of the boat from up here. Everything is a mess. We're in a boatyard and we're fixing everything. So let's continue. There's places that I've been sanding and fixing. This deck needs filler. Colloidal silica and epoxy filler put in different spots. So you can see a close-up here of this old deck, and this is like a 1/4 inch thick with all the coatings and paints and stuff. Now this chisels off fairly well with just a chisel and a hammer. To get down to the glass like this, which the original first coat of paint is letting go. As you can see, as I show down the deck, all the chips and stuff coming loose. This is all just crunchy paint popping off. And it's easy to chisel to the first glass layer. It's just horrible. It's all coming loose. You can see, you walk around, it's all crunchy. Here's one of the handrails that kind of disintegrated. I just pulled it apart. Another view of what's going on around here. A couple solar panels on the pilot house. Here's our trampolines rolled up on the boom and some parts. There's the rail for the bow hanging on the mast. Everybody laughs at my PVC solar array, which has withstood 50-mile-an-hour winds and without any problems, even though it's all kind of saggy and funky and only costs a few dollars to make. Down here in Mexico, you gotta paint plastic or it'll disintegrate. So that's all painted. And then we've got solar panels that I built from scratch in those, and they produce a lot of power. And yeah, they got cracks and different things in them, but they're like second grade cells. They come that way, but they work just fine. There's probably 8 amps each coming out of these. Now the one over there that's empty, it's just a piece of plywood in that hole. That one blew out in that 50-mile-an-hour wind, landed in the ocean, and we found it on a beach a few days later. So I've got to put new cells on top and a new piece of plastic. So here's our wine storage at the moment, just a cooler. We usually put wines down there in that hatch. And then down here, the other AMA. Here's a freezer, portable freezer we use. And we have food storage down here. Beer, there's our wine, or a water tank, which is just a plastic barrel. And you fill it at that spot right there. Our refrigeration for the inside, the compressors out here. And there is a 6,000 watt inverter back there, which is our #1 inverter for 110 power. Food down through there. And come back up here. Here's our kitty box, which is also a seat that's coated with styro spray. And there's his box inside there. I built this table and bench, which needs to be recovered and revarnished and all that. This is our area where we sit the most. Our aft cabin, tools and parts everywhere. There's styro spray piled up underneath that table on the other side, which is just like this side but has a little bigger table. I built this enclosed back window door kind of thing. It used to be a canvas type, so this is a little more secure, but it needs to be rebuilt too. So we're going down inside the pilot house. There's our GPS and a little table setup I built on the mast there, the mizzen mast, and the computer. There's our aft cabin, which is a complete mess at the moment. I've got a battery charger sitting down here and tester and things. There is battery storage way back there, if you can see it. And then we've got engine room here. I'm going upside down. Lots of repairs there. Under this bench that you see now is a water maker, a Power Survivor 80, and there's some new filter housings and things to be put in place. Here's my computer setup where I sit and do this. And pilot house. There's our basil plants, and here's my beautiful soulmate making granola for our breakfast from scratch. That's our oven, a Coleman camping oven. And you can see down through here. I'll go inside. So now I went down the companionway. I'm standing in here. Rebecca's making granola. You can see the difference with our new LED lighting strip in the galley that lights up really nicely. And of course we have crystal chandeliers. Not too many boats have that. You see the fruit around. We picked all that fruit in the bowl here in the boatyard there's fruit trees. We've got kombucha in a jar right there that we make. I call it Scooby-Doo. And it's got a mushroom kind of thing growing on the top. It's actually a really good drink. So here's one of our queen size beds, which is just kind of stored stuff at the moment. There's a new mattress pad right there, some food. Here's a new track for our doors coming into the pilot house, and quarter round to go around these panels in the ceiling that I've put in. Here's our forward area. The other bed that we do sleep in, and you'll notice a 4-inch fan, a computer type fan that we use to stay cool. We have several of these around. They don't use much power, only about 4 watts. And I might be able to get there's our little buddy, Sebastian. And he's just a lot of fun to have with us. So I'm going to go down under this cross beam to the head area. So this is our new shower floor that I just did, again with Styrospray 1000, and also sloped these areas on the side, the stringers of the boat. Added the strips so that water would run off instead of just collecting on there, and it collects dirt and things, so it runs off, goes in, goes down through these holes and stays down here. I've got to put the pump in underneath for shower pump out. That's our boatyard toilet, and then our ocean toilet. And we have a curtain that goes all the way around the inside here, and a shower on a wand controlled here, which is a tub type faucet over the sink. And here's the head, all the things we have in here. And we have a washer, as I said before, and that's up here. You can see the light coming through around it from the bow. And there we go. And that toilet box I talked about before goes down in here. So Rebecca's still stirring granola and eating it. I think it's time to make some coffee. There's our coffee maker. We're northerners, so we drink lots of coffee. That's 110 powered that runs off of our primary inverter. And refrigerator is under that big pot. There's access to one part of it. And behind this door is the main refrigerator. And it's dark in there. I've got an LED light to add to that. And that faucet there is cold water. It goes through a PVC coil that I built inside, so it cools the water, and then you just pour yourself a glass of cold water. We do have an ice maker, but we don't use it very often. And a bread refrigerator we don't use very often, except for when we're over abundance of power, it goes here. Here's an interesting cabinet. We keep our eggs here. They last a month or so. Vitamins, coffee. Here's our secondary inverter and third inverter for running computers and different smaller objects. So Rebecca wants me to show the cupboards where her masterpieces come together. It's kind of dark, but here we've got actual glass plates. Since we're a multi-hull, we don't have too many problems with glass. And the cupboard over here, which is just open for our pots and things. LED lights, special wine rack I built, and yes, we use glass wine glasses because we're a multi-hull. More food storage, spices and things. More spices. She creates all kinds of really cool meals here and is putting together a book of recipes that are pretty spectacular and might be called Recipes from the Ark. Anyway, we hope you like this video, and it's a little informative and interesting. A lot of people wanted to see what we're up to. I'll have lots more videos coming up. I can go into more detail and repairs and different things. We've got tons of ideas. I was awake all night last night thinking about it. So if this video works, we'll add to it. And other than that, hope you enjoyed the video. Leave comments so we know where to go with this. And I'm getting hungry.